What's up, my friends? For those that are new here, my name is Marek. Everyone calls me Bear or Bearski. Anyway, it's laundry day, cleanup day. Holy shit. Anyway, I'm also doing a water change. That's no shirt. As you know, I gotta dive into that tank and it's 29 inches deep. And sure enough, I get soaked. Anywho, I've just been going up and down these stairs a lot. Moving on with the projects here. About to get this cracking. So we're gonna move to phase 2, which is clean up of some of the upper area that gathers way too much algae too fast. Good old technique. How to control the algae, of course. With speed. This isn't too bad anyway. That's it. The other line looks pretty good to me. So that's that. As far as substrate, like I said, I have to ever so often reposition everything back into spot because they're just so ferocious feeders. One more advice, get one of these. It's really helpful stuff for reaching in deep tanks all the way in the bottom without using a ladder, that is. So as you can see, they're just drawn. They won't do anything that I wouldn't, I would be worried about. Actually, I'm worried about them not getting hurt, so trying to be gentle, not to startle them too much. Now all I'm gonna do, ever so convenient. My drain system is super easy. I should say flush out system. I have this sink right here, and once again, good old method of drainage. Minutes in, minutes out. And then I supply the other end, which is sink. Once again, I apologize to those of you who are used to something more neat and nice and all that kind of stuff. This is the place and time when we, as they say, break an egg to make an omelet. And what I mean by that is you get messy to get something achieved, something that's worthwhile. My friend Palmer just mentioned, his name is Chris. His channel's named Palmer's Aquatics. He just said in this video, I want to take my time and do it right. And that's exactly what you're supposed to do. I applaud him for that because that's how I do it. I take my time to get something done that I can be proud of, that I can guarantee, whatever, that I take pride in. So that's that. On that token, I hope everyone will use that kind of logic. We'll be all better off. Thumbs up to, Chris. However, as I was saying before, we've got to break an egg to make an omelet. You've got to get dirty. It's got to get messy. I'm going to feed my cats and dogs in a minute. You'll see how I do it. We're going to translate into that. And basically the whole concept is all about, one second, because I don't even know what I'm doing. Okay, it's all about not trying to redesign something, we're just gonna follow this blueprint that goes around the entire globe and dictates, how we live and how we operate around here. And shoot, bad lighting, sorry. No, the glare from the tank was giving me a headache. The idea here is basically not to reinvent the wheel, follow the blueprint, trust me, it won't steer you wrong ever. Use it for yourself. I'm using it on me. Have you heard of that festing thing that everyone's talking about? Trust me, it's here and it's been here for a reason. I try not to eat at all on Sundays. It just works for me. And in some days I resort to only 2 meals a day, and I'm fine and I can sustain, you know, so you can too. Trust me, it's called fitness for a reason. It doesn't just involve weights and diets and stuff. It's all that mental right here, which will, you know, for some, maybe just the entertainment or whatever. For some, for many like myself, it's absolute, you know, therapy. I don't know, centering, something that I can relate to again, kind of circle back into what I was as a kid, what I enjoyed doing, applying the knowledge that I've gained from, you know, outdoors and studies and whatever, living. Excuse me. But the idea is to basically to be balanced. It's all about being balanced, you know, like putting everything together, your hobbies, your health and wealth, all in one place and on, you know, good proportions, not over on one and not too much on another. You get my drift. My spot for the fish tank. Still waiting. Anyway, that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes you have to break an egg to make an omelet. So do this. You know, you have to be realistic. Apply the realism to what you do. Become a biologist, not just a hobbyist. When you deal with other lives and, you know, other beings and things, not just toys or whatever, you know, things of no value, possessions. So I'm gonna feed the beasts. Hang on. Okay. So here's the block. My cat already got into it. Basically what I do, oh, hang on, let me adjust the camera, phone. So what I do is I basically break this up. It's still pretty, you know, solid, but it's already thawed out for the most part. It'll start coming apart, and then you just want to loosen it up. I only do it also because I have to take a chunk and serve it to my girl, to my little Aziza. She'll hear this sound and come right down. And this is Zulu. I mean, it's not a lot of food for this big old dog. So here we go. Obviously wash your hands when you handle this type of stuff, but you can even wear gloves for all I care. But this is what you need to do. This is what is appropriate. Excuse the mess, like I said, but you know, this is what is appropriate. This is how you gotta get it done. If you wanna keep animals and whatever you wanna keep it, call it, sorry. Some people keep animals, some people raise animals. You know, some people get really, really into it, like strangely, deeply into it. I just advise you to be at least biologically appropriate at the basic level first. And then you can start attaching all the tags, and like I said, and the tags, whatever, collars and whatnot with your loved ones. But that's it. That's the basics. You got to do this. You got to do this. And sometimes you just have to organize yourself, and by getting it all done in one day, making a little mess, is no big deal. I'll have this cleaned up before the kids are back from school. All right, hang on. All right, so real quick. All right, I do not feel apologetic. I mean, if you haven't figured it out, this is it. This is the reality of life, and it should be everyone's life. So if you choose to get, like I said, engaged in this kind of activities, you're gonna have to get with it, or shit, it's gonna be a chore. And when things are chore, you don't want to do it. You know how it is. So as long as you like doing this and you love doing this, you'll never feel like you're working. That's the point. Where I'm going with it is basically, I don't know, I've just come across some mixed emotion, I suppose, from some pseudo friends and real friends and whatnot. So just do what you like doing, and trust me, it'll like come back and serve you right. It really does. And karma is definitely a real thing, just because there's one golden rule. I mean, that's the only rule I live by, is you do others like how they do you. So basically, treat others how they treat you, not how you want to be treated. Everyone deserves their own serving. You reap what you sow. Anywho, on that notion, keep on keeping on. Be true to yourself. You know, don't doubt yourself. And if someone critiques it and say, what? And brings emotions and feelings instead of logic and a good argument behind it, with some research and everything else other than opinions, by all means, get engaged. Maybe you'll learn something too. I just did. I've learned a lot. I've learned so much. I'm still learning. And what's best, I totally welcome it. So comments below, whatever you feel like, it's all good. You know, just try to be logical first, and obviously somewhat, I don't know, respectful to the audience and to me. You know, I have pretty thick skin, but I have emotions too. I have family, kids, whatnot, and a broken back. So just chill. It's just YouTube, you know. The message is cool, it's great, I know, but still, it's just a little channel, so relax. I appreciate you. Alright, so real quick, these guys are done. Look, they finished all the food, just taking out the leftovers, the vegetables usually that they picked out first. Now they're going after those because wilted and kind of soaked in that meat sauce, sort of, you know, whatever. It's just good. It's just what they would sort of find in the inside the intestines of, like, say, a prey, a deer, I don't know, whatever they will hunt down the line, thousands of years. This is Aziza. She's 18 pounds or something, Shih Tzu Yorkie mix. And look at her primal instinct coming out to defend her food against a 120-pound Rottweiler. You could just chomp her and eat her too, but he respects her because I make him respect her. I'm the alpha here. He is the next, and I favoritize her, so he takes the back seat. You know what I'm saying? It's all about steering the animal to where you want it to go, because you suddenly have this control of satisfying your very primal, very instinctive, you know, needs. And that's what I'm talking about. Imagine that. You have satisfied that. They care nothing more than about their bellies being full, and you provide that. With it, you have this power which you could use in right manner to steer the animal to behave just the way you should, or it should, just the way it, you know, it fits into your pack, into your rhythm, into your needs. You have kids, that dog better respect every inch of that kid and its mischief and everything else, because yeah, there's gonna be moments where you question, you know, the intent, but sure, the animal can't judge, he can't reason, he just reacts, and he better react right, which is to crouch down or respect and close his eyes, because those are his most vulnerable, you know, parts of his body to protect, but do nothing, just take the punch in the head, because kid is right, like a god kind of syndrome. Nope, not going there. But yeah, that's what you do. You provide the basics, you satisfy the basic need, you suddenly gain control over other aspects that you can sort of steer or manipulate without force, without violence, without just assertiveness and control. I simply illustrate, this is okay and this is not. You reacted this way, chop. You reacted that way, reward. That banging on the ball, bing bing. Pavlov's, you know, whatever guy, give him a freaking credit. Psychiatrist that came out with the experiment with a dog. Bell rings, dog salivates, food gets going. Right, look it up, I don't have time. What I'm saying is you could do the same thing over and over with your own dog. And you fish and other things that basically respect the command that you have over basic needs like sustenance. Because when you bring it down to a biological level, there's very few things that you really need to worry about. Sustenance, protection, and procreation. But there's no you for another day. I hope this brings a little more light to things that we do here talk about, other than just dropping food in the tank and move on. You know, it's cool. There's some fish that can take it, I suppose, and we don't even care because then we feed them to other fish. But some fish are just so much more, and they are difficult, and they are just like the rest of the more, you know, complex organisms that we as people give credit or more value or whatever, assign more value. Based on what? Really? Cat versus dog? This fish versus that fish? Is that really relevant? Pain receptors, no pain receptors? Suddenly we're gonna stop eating meat? Hey, plants may be able to, you know, react to sound stimuli, so we're gonna stop eating plants too? Or we're gonna just completely move to kibble? You gotta be realistic, and the best chance we have at this is, like I said, stay true to the blueprint. Stay simple. Stay primeval. Alright, I'll catch you guys. It's all done. I'm just gonna leave it at that, and come back in a couple hours, see how it is, check it out. By morning it'll be pristine again. So that's how it is. There's nothing more. I just want to say thanks again for, you know, subscribing, for checking out the channel, for listening to my rants sometimes and stuff. And I know I'm trying to be somewhat useful and informative, other than just entertaining to some. As you notice, that's the reason for my channel. I thank you again. So ring the bell if you want to know when things come up. Otherwise, see you on the other side.